At long last, James Garner speaks up against Tom Selleck, one of the most adored and evergreen actors in American cinema and television history. James Garner was born James Scott Garner in Norman, Oklahoma on April 7, 1928. His rise to Hollywood celebrity from modest origins is a reflection of his brilliance, perseverance, and everlasting charisma. As a child, Garner lived through the Great Depression, a period of tremendous American adversity, which shaped his work ethic and perseverance, qualities that would be beneficial to him all his life and work. As a result of his mother's untimely death and the hardships he endured with his father, Garner grew to embody the qualities of independence and self-reliance. The approachable, common man persona he would later bring to numerous iconic performances was molded by these formative experiences. The Korean War, which Garner served in before he gained success in Hollywood, was a formative experience for him. His dedication and selflessness were on full display during his time in the military, and he brought the self-control, modesty, and bravery he developed there into his acting career. Upon leaving the military, Garner dove headfirst into acting, attending the University of Oklahoma and getting his feet wet in the Oklahoma City theater scene. He was soon on his way to becoming a cinematic icon thanks to his natural charisma, rugged good looks, and effortless charm, which drew the attention of casting directors in Hollywood. From 1957 through 1962, Garner starred as the lovable, rogue gambler Brett Maverick on the hit TV series Maverick, set in the Old West. His talent for combining wit, intellect, and emotional depth was on full display in the critically acclaimed series, which helped him stand out from other leading men of his time. Many viewers identified strongly with Garner's portrayal of Maverick because of his wit, intelligence, and fearlessness in breaking the norms. Fame, critical praise, and an indelible spot in pop culture were all his thanks to Maverick, which he created with his natural connection with co-stars and flawless comic timing. Garner made a smooth move from television to film after his success there, showcasing his ability to excel in a variety of genres. His charisma and acting chops were on full display in his 1963 portrayal as the courageous and resourceful Virgil Hilts in The Great Escape, one of several legendary films he featured in during the 60s and 70s. He shone an incredible versatility as an actor, appearing in romantic comedies like 1963's The Thrill of It All, as well as dramatic parts like 1960 SIX's Grand Prix and action flicks. Audiences were able to establish strong connections with Garner's characters due to his performances, which were frequently lauded for being genuine, friendly, and relatable. James Garner was well known not only for his work, but also for the honesty and moral rectitude with which he conducted himself. He garnered notoriety for suing Hollywood studios in response to what he perceived as their unjust treatment of him. His historic victory in a breach of contract case against Warner Brothers cleared the way for performers to have greater rights in the industry. His off-screen bravery bolstered his reputation, reflecting the moral fortitude of the characters he played. As an accomplished musician and an ethical human being, among Garner's later career television successes was his portrayal of the humorous, vulnerable, and intelligent private detective Jim Rockford on The Rockford Files, 1974 to 1980. His reputation as a television icon was cemented by this role, which garnered him critical praise and several Emmy Awards. He was a highly esteemed actor of his time because he could humanize any character he played, whether on television or in the movies. Garner was well known not only for his acting career, but also for his charitable work and modest charity. His selflessness and generosity in supporting various organizations were a reflection of the dignity he brought to his work. He seldom sought public acclaim for his contributions. His amiability, kindness, and warmth were hallmarks of his personality, which fans, friends, and colleagues all remember him for. James Garner wed Lois Josephine Fleischman Clark, a lady he met at a social event in 1956 under fairly fortunate circumstances, for the first time in his life. They were married on August 17, 1956, only 16 days after meeting. Their romance was intense and extremely quick. "We ate dinner together every night for a whole week," as Garner would remember it when thinking back on their brief affair. "I was really obsessed with her. Our honeymoon cost me $77 and nearly broke me." In addition to showcasing Garner's impulsive and passionate youth, This little story also gives us a glimpse of his humble character and hilarious sense of humor. He was not shy about discussing marriage openly. He even likened it to military service at one point. An army is analogous to a marriage. Despite the many gripes, a surprising number of people choose to re-enlist. He saw long-term commitment not as a romantic fantasy, but as a real partnership that required love, patience, and work. This statement sums up his perspective on the subject. While they were together, Lois's Judaism was an integral element of her life that Garner honored and appreciated. It was also an important part of their family's cultural and spiritual heritage. Prior to her marriage to James, Lois had a daughter from a previous marriage. The girl, who was 9 years old at the time, was recovering from polio, an illness that severely impaired the physical abilities of many children in that era. Garner's involvement in her life showcased his caring nature and his readiness to take on the role of a parent, showing empathy, tolerance, and understanding toward a youngster going through tough times. Garner and Lois had their first child, a daughter they lovingly called Gigi, a little over 18 months after they were married. The baby was originally named Greta. A new chapter began in Garner's life with her birth on January 4, 1958. She solidified his status as a spouse and a dedicated father. His marriage was marked by love, laughter, and engagement, and his relationship with Gigi was no different. While discussing the rewards and challenges of parenthood, he frequently gushed about her in interviews. Like any long-term couple, Garner and Lois had their share of difficulties throughout their time together. They went through a 3-month separation in 1970 and another in 1979. They overcame these challenges and reconciled time and time again, finally getting back together in September 1981. The pattern highlights how strong and profound their relationship is. Their unwavering dedication to each other would last for decades, even though they faced many challenges together. They had been married for nearly 58 years when Garner passed away in 2014, which is a reflection of the love, commitment, and mutual regard that built their marriage. Although it was not without its share of difficulties, James Garner's marriage was a defining and lasting part of his personal life. It revealed the private, loving man behind the famous screen character. Garner, James. The iconic actor, whose decades-long career and magnetic presence made him a Hollywood icon, has spoken out on his longtime associate and colleague, Tom Selleck. The wisdom, candor, and decades of negotiating the uncertain world of show business were evident in Garner's statements. Garner started off by saying, "I've known Tom for a very long time," using the gravelly, endearing voice that fans had grown to adore from hits like Murphy's Romance and The Rockford Files. Above all else, he is an honest and trustworthy man, and he is also one of the best actors I have ever worked with. Both actors had made their own distinct impressions on Hollywood, and for years, fans wondered if they were dating. Garner's remarks appeared to finally put an end to the mystery. Garner continued by thinking back on their time together in show business, describing how their friendship developed in the dark and lonely hours spent working behind the scenes as much as in the bright lights of publicity. "The demands of the industry have the power to either break you or fortify you," he said. "We've both been there." Tom never failed to not only be prepared to work, but also to brighten the day of everyone on site. He has always impressed me with his very generous nature. Based on his remarks, it was evident that Garner held Selleck in high esteem, both professionally and personally. He acknowledged the character trait necessary to remain calm, humorous, and kind over many years in a field known to be difficult for one's principles and tolerance. Garner chuckled, a rich, hearty laugh that resounded like a man completely at ease with his own history, when questioned about the similarities that fans and the media frequently made between them, being both tall, personable, and having an inherent screen presence. "People are always finding fault and drawing comparisons, but Tom and I have always gone our separate paths," he stated. "Yes, we are both performers, and yes, we have both achieved success, but the reality is, you can't truly compare the two. The audiences seem to enjoy it when we add our own tastes to our performances." In all candor, friendship is not a competitive endeavor. It boils down to basic decency. The modesty and kindness that had marked Garner's career shone through in his remarks, as he refused to allow jealousy or ego control his view of co-workers. Everyone, including those who followed the same Hollywood route, The two men had helped each other through the ups and downs of fame, and Garner was open about how Selleck's professionalism had affected him personally. According to Garner, Tom had a profound impact on his patients. His serenity is infectious, and I've always been a little stubborn. Tom always manages to calm things down on set, whether tensions are rising or a scenario isn't fitting together. Being human under duress is more important than acting, and I've learned a lot about that. This introspection gave Garner's admirers a glimpse of the real her that they had never seen before. A guy of character and kindness, who put thought and reflection ahead of fame and fortune. Someone who had seen it all in Hollywood and decided to put their attention where it belongs, on the bonds between people that last long after the spotlight has faded. Garner concluded by discussing trust, the most crucial element of his relationship with Selleck. Trust is an essential word when discussing someone like Tom, he remarked. There is a trust between us that isn't readily earned because we've been through so much together in this company. I trust him and hope he does the same for me. He's reliable. Whether you're an actor or not, that is the bedrock of any friendship. The tribute and reassurance conveyed by Garner's remarks showed fans that some connections endure over the years, the distance, and the shifting tides of Hollywood. Thoughts about Tom Selleck that James Garner entertained were ultimately about more than simply a coworker. A friendship based on mutual regard, similar experiences, and a profound admiration for the real person behind the stardom was honored with these tokens of affection. After all we've been through, Garner said, it's an honor to call him a friend. That is of utmost importance. Fans got a unique look at the real relationships that impact an actor's life through Garner's candid remarks. A gentle reminder that what matters most, beyond the glamour and the cameras, are the intangibles: friendship, loyalty, respect, and the human factor. Garner, James. The legendary actor, whose charisma and humor were seen on film and television, battled a string of health problems that were just as difficult as the characters he played. In the 1970s, Garner's knees started giving him trouble while he was filming the legendary detective series The Rockford Files. A painful journey that he suffered while retaining his distinctive humor and commitment to his work. What began as periodic aches quickly became chronic discomfort and necessitated 6 or 7 knee surgeries at that time. In 2000, he underwent knee replacement surgery on both knees, a result of the cumulative effects of those years of physical strain. His unwavering determination and refusal to let pain dictate his life continue to inspire. Beyond his knees, Garner's health problems reached far and wide. His life-altering quintuple bypass cardiac surgery took place on April 22, 1988. He approached the process with his usual doggedness, even though it would have been terrifying for anyone else. He made an unexpectedly speedy recovery, but his physicians urged him to kick the habit he'd had for decades. Even more astonishing is the fact that Garner smoked for almost 20 more years, finally calling it quits in 2005. A decision that brought attention to his frailties as a human being and his ultimate resolve to live a long life. My dad smoked since he was 12 years old, reflecting on his fight with smoking, daughter Gigi Garner recalled, highlighting the enduring nature of some of his issues. Another devastating health crisis befell Garner in 2008. 2 days after suffering a massive stroke, on May 11th, he had surgery, which doctors said went well. Fans and family alike took heart from the news that he had a fairly good prognosis, considering the severity of his stroke. Actor James Garner gained appreciation for his portrayal of bravery and resolve in the face of adversity on screen and in real life for his ability to persevere through multiple medical crises. James Garner's remarkable life came to a tragic end on July 19, 2014. At the age of 86, the renowned actor passed unexpectedly after police and emergency workers were called to his house in Brentwood, Los Angeles. A heart attack caused by coronary artery disease was the final straw after years of health problems, including the aftereffects of his stroke in 2008. His charisma, professionalism, and unfaltering dedication to his work have left an impression that will last for centuries, even though his health had deteriorated in his latter years.